Also, as I already said earlier, guys, I want to do a little review on all the cards that have been announced so far. So we're gonna take a look at everything, or just kind of a fast review a bit, but looking at the cards that we have seen and see if there is some juicy stuff coming out, chat. Let's take a little look, guys, here at Demon Hunter. Demon Hunter is the new class that is coming. Hero power 1 mana, gain 1 attack to your hero, is what the hero power will be. First new card here, our first card revealed, Furious Fun. If your hero attack this turn, gain +1 and rush. Pretty solid, not completely insane. You will get a 2 mana 4/2 with rush. 2 health is a little weak for rush, but can be good. Demon Hunter has a lot of ways that you want to attack, so can definitely see it being like okay. It might get played. It's actually a Murloc, it's not a demon. This guy kind of looks demon to me, but has some synergy. Also with the 0 mana spell where you gain attack, 1 attack, and then you can attack already with your hero, then play this card. So has quite some decent synergy. Would rate it like a 2-star card. I don't think it's like completely insane, but it might be getting played there in Demon Hunter. It's kind of good aggressive stat line. And here, the Imprisoned Antian. 5 mana, 10/6, dormant for 2 turns. When this awakens, deal 10 damage, randomly split among all enemies. So, dormant, for people seeing the mechanic for the first time, means it will be the first 2 times not be active on the board. Then one, it unleashes, it wakes up out of the dormant, then its effect goes off. 5 mana, 10/6, deal 10 damage among all enemies, so including minions on board, including face. It's a pretty, this card is like pretty good. The stat line is really strong. If you coin this out on 4, you play this on 5, but afterwards you have like a deal 10 towards everything, and you also summon a 5 mana 10/6. It's not like you just wait for the effect. You also get a very solid body for this card. I think it's a very good card. It has to get a little bit seen if Demon Hunter can play control style, because I'm not really like convinced about Demon Hunter being control style. But I think it can be pretty decent, and I would rate it 4 stars. I think it is a very good and solid card for Demon Hunter. Kayan Sunfury. And here we have him, guys. 4 mana, 3/5, charge all friendly attacks, ignore taunt. Wow. I thought this would always be a hunter card, the mechanic of ignoring taunt, but it seems like Demon Hunter is going to be the one that can ignore taunt with this card. And by the way, the card is having charge itself as well. It's a 4 mana, 3/5 with charge. So this in combination with something else, huh? Ignore Town. This card is, I like this card a lot. I think it's kind of cool to have a card. I am happy this is a class card and not like a neutral card, and we could play this in every deck. But I think it's kind of cool that there is a card that in the game that can ignore Taunt. I would rate it 4 stars. I think it's a very, very nice and possible very good card as well. Depends a bit if there is enough charge cards to synergize it with. There are actually very little charge cards at the moment, and I haven't really seen charge cards for Demon Hunter as well, so the synergy it currently has just feels bad, but I think the card itself can be like very, very good. In general, it's already good because all friendly people like can dodge, so you don't need like these people. If you have stuff on the board and there is going to be towns, it's a really good card, guys. 4.5 stars. Next up, Metamorphosis. Metamorphosis there. 5 mana, swap your hero power to deal 5 damage after 2 uses, swap it back. Hero power will remain the same cost, so will be a 1 mana. So what you're basically doing here is 5 mana, deal 10 damage for 2 mana. So it's like 7 mana total cost to deal 10 damage using your hero power for it. But it's kind of cheap in a way because you do it for 1 mana after playing a 5 mana card. You also don't have to use it directly 2 turns in a row. You can just do it the next turn and then like 2 turns later if you need mana specifically. Not sure. It's a good finisher card. See it more as a Pyroblast that you have like in the end of the game. It's a card that you don't really can make your deck mature out, but you can use it as like a burn card to finish off. Demon Hunter seems to be a very aggressive class and can definitely very synergize or have a card like this for the late game to maybe finish it off. Not sure. I would rate it 3 stars. I think it can be very good, but it's not gonna make an archetype or make the deck specifically. So I think it's very solid. Next up, Pit Commander, 9 mana, 7/9. At the end of your turn, summon a demon from your deck. 9 mana, 7/9 with Taunt, kind of nice defensive card. What helps. Kind of funny thing about this card is he can also summon himself. So if you play 2 of these, he can summon himself. And you can maybe even get more and more. If you want to make this card work, you have to make it work in like a big demon hunter or a big demon hunter kind of style, because the random demon you want to summon from the deck has to be like kind of big to make it like feel very good. 9 mana, 7/9 is pretty. It's an okay taunt for its stats. It's a very aggressive stat line for a taunt. I'm not sure if there will be enough value for a big demon hunter, chat. I suppose you can also summon the dormant minions, what can be kind of good maybe as well, but I will rate it 2 stars. I'm not a big believer for now on like a big demon hunter deck. I definitely think demon hunter will be going faster. Next up, Skull of Gul'dan. Draw 3 cards. Outcast. Reduce their cost by 3. So, new mechanic, Outcast. Outcast means if the card is on the left or the right of your hand, the effect goes off. So if this is your left card, you reduce the cost of on 3, or if you top deck this card, when it's on the right, you also reduce it by 3. How often is that gonna happen? I think you can play pretty reasonably through word set mechanic of like having it in your left, having it in your right, and then play it. And it's a draw 3. So 2 mana, draw 3. Wow. 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 If you can make it work, guys, the Outcast, it is a 2 mana, draw 3. A book of Spectres without having any possible discard. This card is amazing. It's a very good card. Super good. I rate it... This card's really good. I'm thinking about... Oh, reduce their cost by 3. Oh, you're right. You are right. I baited you, chat. It's 5 mana, draw 3, reduce their cost by 3. What is a little bit similar, but not completely, because you pay the mana that way, and then you can maybe play the reduced ones. Okay, that makes it a bit weaker. Still good. 3.5 stars. Spectral Sight. 2 mana, draw a card. Outcast, draw another. What do you think of this card, chat? Weaker? Yes, because 2 mana, draw 3, you draw directly and then you can play towards it. Outcast reduce their cost. I mean, I guess if you have very expensive cards, it can be kind of better. Because you reduce 9 mana. Actually, it can be even better, right? But it depends. It depends in the game state. Late game, it's better. Early game, mid game, you need the tempo as well. I will rate it 4 stars. I like the card. Spectre Shard, draw a card. Outcast, draw another. 2 mana, draw 2. If you have an Outcast effect. What is solid? These are very top deck cards sometimes, guys. These Outcast cards. I definitely think in Demon Hunter you don't want to play too many cards that are not being able to get played because it messes up your outcast. I will give it 3 stars. This, it seems to be a good card, but you definitely need the outcast effect to make it like the power card. And there, Wayglaves of Azeroth. After attacking a minion, your hero may attack again. Card is very comparable to Fool's Bane. What was a very similar card, but that card couldn't attack phase at all. This card is still able to attack phase afterwards. That's a pretty good card because it for 5 mana you can get kind of completely the board back. You play this on 5, you just kill off like 3 creatures, and that way you kind of have the board back. It's a very possible swingy card. If it fits well in Demon Hunter, I'm not sure. I think it's a decent card. We'll give it 3.5 stars. What do you think, Thijs, will be the anti-class for Demon Hunter? Obviously Warlock, maybe, because it has cards like Sacrificial Pact that can just eat demons for 0 mana while it's completely busted. Kind of surprised Sacrificial Pact is still in the game for its current like 0 mana cost now with Demon Hunter. That might get changed soon, I suppose, or like it has to be on the mind. But yeah, 3.5 stars I would say. Pretty solid cards there for Demon Hunter. Of course, Demon Hunter is going to be a complete new class. It will also get more cards out of the basic and classic set. What means this is just like a little bit more of a few. But what for Demon Hunter is also going to be most important is just the cards that are coming out in general. Alright, let's take a little look at the next ones, guys. Let's take a little look at what Druid has gotten so far. Druid has gotten 6 cards. Arshor, Missive shuffle Missive Prime into your deck. But then we are asking, what is Missive Prime? 10 mana, choose one, summon a 9/9 fungal giant with Taunt or Rush. Ooh. 3 mana, 3/4 Taunt's already decent. So a lot of the classes, or maybe every class, is getting one of these cards where it has like a shuffle mechanic on like putting something in the deck, and when it comes out, it's a kind of a very strong thing for its cost. 10 mana 9/9 Taunt with another 9/9. So obviously it's good for like, it's quite some value. Are you gonna play it? Depends a bit on if what you can do with Druid. 9/9 Rush is also definitely good. But it's kind of an expensive card, guys, the Missive, to get it going. Can play it with Quest, I know. Then you get an... actually, this with Quest can be really good. You get a 10 mana 9/9. Summon a 9/9 with Taunt and summon an... Or no. You just gain Taunt plus Rush. You don't get 2 9/9s. But still good. 3 stars. It's in some way a bit comparable to Scenarios. And it's a bit better maybe. But it's so-so. Fungal Fortunes. 2 mana, draw 3 cards. Discard any minions drawn. So, kind of the same card. It's kind of Book of Spectres, but then the other way around. It works the best for spells and not for minions. That makes it weaker, because at the end of the game, minions are more important than spells. Spells are nice, they are good, but without spells, there are not many decks that can win Hearthstone games. So, a spell Druid deck, you always have to play some minions in Druid, no matter what archetype you're really going for. I don't think I'm too big of a fan of this card. You can't make a spell Druid. Maybe Trend Druid is kind of a spell Druid deck. That kind of all plays like a lot of spells. And of course, guys, you don't have to play this card to only in a spell Druid. You can play a deck with 20 spells and 10 minions. And it just being reasonably that you draw often 2, sometimes when you're lucky 3, sometimes unlucky 0 or 1 maybe, but overall having an average draw of 2. Pretty solid. I just don't believe in this card too much. 2.5 stars. Next up, very interesting card, Germination. Summon a copy of a friendly minion, give that copy Taunt. So, Faceless Manipulator on a spell. Very comparable to the, what was it called, the Mage spell as well, that copied for 4 mana. I think this card is also can be really good in Druid, cause Druid is kind of like a big deck. You can go very on big minions and then copy it can be really good. It also fits well with like cards that summon from your deck. This is not an. Sometimes with big Druid decks, the problem is. You have cards that put minions on the board. The problem is you cannot really play Faceless Manipulator in that deck because it's a minion and you can suddenly summon it, and it makes the it makes it possible that you get the Faceless Manipulator on board or anything. But this is a spell, what is like so much better. You can more cheat on the mechanic of minions getting summoned on the board or getting big in your hand or anything. I like this card. I think it's a 4-star card. I think this card is really good, guys. Germination. Next up, Imprisoned Satyr. 3 mana, 3/5. Dormant for 2 turns. When this awakens, reduce the cost of a random minion in your hand by 5. Can be good in a combo deck, but that's the way you have to see it. This is a card that you want to play in a combo deck, I think. I don't think you want to play it in anything else, but in then a Malygos Druid deck. Druid has a little problems on 3 mana 3/3. Sorry, I said 3 mana 3/5, right? 3 mana 3/3. Druid has a little problems on getting back to board sometimes, but this can be really good. Like imagine if you're only playing like an Malygos, it can be very powerful. But this card is so-so. I would rate it 3 stars. I don't think it's any better than 3 stars. Marsh Hydra, 7 mana 7/7. After this attacks, add a random 8 cost minion to your hand. We got another Hydra here in the game, chat. The Marsh Hydra. Kinda good as it is it's a 7 mana 7/7 with Rush. So it always attacks, and after the attacks it adds a random 8 cost minion to your hand. Kinda have to see how good a random 8 mana card is. This is like a nightmare in Arena. This card is gonna be like so OP in Arena, a card like this. Where you get like boom, boom. I think it's a good Hydra. It's very solid. If you can like cheese this card out even a bit earlier, you do this and you get like an 8-drop, so you have a curve right afterwards as well. It can be a bit of your late game tool and hope it can like carry a bit on or like go high in value. I think this card is solid. 3.5 stars. And here, the new Druid Legendary. Yseal Windsinger, 9 mana 5/5, your spell costs 1. So, basically an Aviana, but then for spells. Can we cheat enough with spells to make this card work? And no, I'm not talking about Wild, where you can maybe make a 1 mana Ultimate Devastation work. What's currently the biggest spells you can play? Besides like Nourish, there's not that much big spells, right? I feel this is a bit of a weaker Kel'Thas. Because Kel'Thas can do like 2 cheap spells that make 1 spell really cheap. Overflow, I guess. But you want to do more than just play 1 spell. If this card was 8 mana, it had a lot of potential. But 9 mana, I just feel you only have 1 spell available. Also, your Innervate, for example, if you're like, oh, well, I'm just gonna coin or Innervate out my other spell. Well, these are also costing 1 mana, so you can't really make that work. This card is so-so. I'm not a big fan of this, guys. It's too expensive. It's not defensive either. Maybe there's a cheat way you can make with this card. But that your spells cost 1, so even your coins and interface are costing 1 is a pretty bad negative effect on this. I will rate it 2 stars. I can't rate it higher. Cards for Druid feel kind of so-so for me so far. Hunter. Let's see what our Hunter got, chat. What are we gonna have for Hunter this expansion? Augmented Porcupine. 3 mana, 2/4, Death Rattle. Deal this minion's attack damage random split among all enemies. That's actually good, right? Deal this minion's attack randomly split among all enemies. Wait, what? All enemies? So it's not just one minion, it's not even all the minions, it also deals damage to the face. I mean, 3 mana 2/4 is not too slow. Kinda can deal as an AoE. Deals to the face damage as well. So see it a bit as a consecration. But then you need to set it up so it's a bit weaker in the concept, but it's like a body. This card is good, guys. It has to be good. Oh yeah, I think this card has to be good in some way. Oh, never mind. Deal this minion's attack damage randomly split, so it's gonna split the two. 2 damage total. Okay, never mind. 1.5 star. Next. I was in a dream world. Beastmaster, Lerox. Summon 3 beasts from your hand. Okay, let's make some big beasts, huh? Summon 3 beasts from your hand. Summon King Crush and some more and 2 high mains or something, huh? So you need to be like a kind of an hand hunter a bit, because to have like a lot of cards in the hand. But this card can be good, I think. You need more duplicates, but now you can also play the spell. There's this, I think it's a 5 mana hunter spell. Copy all the beasts in your hand. Copy them all to then play this. What you will need with this card is you will need rush cards. Rush and charge cards are very important with this. Otherwise, it's not really... You're gonna fall too behind on board, I would say. Or you just need a Rhino. And make the others have charge. This card is good. I rate it 4 stars. I think this card is quite good, chat. Very nice tempo swing. 2 mana, 5/4. Dormant for 2 turns. When this awakens, attack a random enemy. So you play this on turn 4, it awakens at turn 4. You play it at turn 2, it awakens at turn 4. If you coin this, it awakens at turn 3, then it attacks a random enemy. I think it's so-so. I don't think this card is that good, guys. They're for 2 mana. I mean, it's kind of good if you can play an aggro deck in a way. Don't underestimate stats like 2 mana 5/4. You coin this out and you have it on turn 3, when you can still play a 2-drop and a 3-drop. I will rate it 3 stars. Magneto Lion, 4 mana, rush battlecry, choose friendly minion, gain a copy of its death rattle. So it has some synergy with the 3 mana card we just saw, where you gain a copy of a death rattle, but that's too slow. 4 mana 5 rush is pretty solid. I don't know, like, choose a friendly minion, gain a copy of its death rattle. Like, there's not that much death rattles in cheap hunter cards, right? You kind of need to play like an egg kind of card to make like cheat work. The artwork is really beautiful, I agree. I will rate it 3 stars. I don't think it's amazing. Like, it's 4 mana 5 to rush. I don't feel this death rattle effect now is gonna be like something like really powerful. I don't see 3 drops of hunter having like that amazing of a death rattle. Like, yeah, snip snap. Like Albatross, I guess. Okay. Nagrand Slam is a 10 mana hunter spell. Summon 4/3/5 Clefwoods that attack random enemies. And if I'm and what the card also does, random enemies also includes face, guys. So very important. Let's say you're in a top deck war and like your opponent just removed the board, and you play this on 10, you deal 12 damage in the face. I think this card is a Zul'jin staying in the standard. Zul'jin's going out. But what can this card also be really good with is with Keltas. Because what you can do is you can go you go Keltas and you just play like Arcane Shot, Tracking, Twin Spell, deal 1 damage, and then you play this card for 0 mana. Like, this card is a really OP card in a more Keltas hunter deck. Keltas Hunter on the menu. We're definitely gonna try that out. This card is really strong, guys. Like, you get bored, if there is no real board, it still hits face. It's such a strong effect. I like this card. 4 stars. Two mana, draw a beast, give it +3/+3. Ooh, that's pretty solid for 2 mana. 2 mana, draw a card, give it a buff. That's pretty good, right? I mean, you have to go Beast Hunter style. Isn't that like really good for a draw mechanic? Like, compare the card to Novice Engineer. Can make it work with like lifesteal maybe as well. Some. Maybe with rush decks. Like, even if you just play this and you get like a Spring Paw and you play a 1 mana 4/4, it's like really, really nice. I think it's a pretty solid card. Is this finally the time, guys, of Angry Chicken to shine? Is this gonna be the Angry Chicken time? I will rate it 4 stars. I think the card is good. I will rate it 4 stars. Alright, what do we have here? It is Sixor, the Apex Predator. 3 mana, 2/4. Rush Death Rattle, shove an Sixor Prime into your deck. 3 mana, 2/4 with a Rush, and then Death Rattle. Summon an 8 mana, 4/4 in your deck with Rush. Summon 3 copies of this minion. It's still good, Sixor Prime like this, but I don't think this card is that amazing. It's not that much cost, right? You play a 3 mana 2/4 Rush, what is not a punish, or not like that bad. And then you get an 8 mana summon 4 4/4s with Rush in the deck. But it's not amazing. I don't think this card is like OP. You can buff this card though. If you buff Sixor Prime and it becomes like 8 mana 7/7, you get the copies. So if you play this card and you draw the Sixor Prime, whoa, you summon 8 mana 7/7, summon 3 other 7/7s with Rush. Whoa, that's actually busted. If it works, if you can make that work. 3 stars, solid card. Hunter getting good cards, chat. I think Hunter is actually getting really good cards. What you think? I like the Hunter cards. Mage, just being revealed, just some. Epirex Blast, deal 5 damage. If your deck has no minions, summon a random 5-cost minion. So, your deck has to run no minions. A no minion deck at all is like, whoa, really expensive. Playing 0 minions. And then you have a 5 mana deal 5 to summon a random 5-drop. This card is 1 star. This card is bad. It's not like the benefit of only playing spells, what is a very big punishment, is that you have a 5 mana deal 5 to get a random 5-cost minion on the board is really poor, chat. Epic Smuggler there. 2 mana 2/3. After you play a secret, discover a spell. Mage Secrets are 3 mana. This card can be good if you can cheat the cost of your secrets with like a Kirin Tornmage. So if you play this on 2 and then you play Kirin Tornmage with secret on 3, it could be good. You need something like that. So it's more of a tempo mage card, I would say, this one. I'll rate it 2 stars, because I think that the card is pretty solid, but I don't see enough synergy with it. Tempo mage is just really falling behind now with no mana worm anymore. So, but you can't blame this card too much for that. Astromancer Solarium. 2 mana 3/2. Spell damage +1. Death Rattle, summon Solarium Prime in the deck. 7 mana, 7/7. Cast 5 random mage spells. Get your own little box. Yeah, what do we rate of this card, chat? Tell me. Target, okay, very important text as well. Target enemies if possible. So the spells that you get, and it's 5 random mage spells. So it's not as like wide as the range of box. They are very specific. You only have the range of the mage spells. And mage spells are not really, there's not really mage spells that buff. It's all like, oh, I freeze, I remove, I get an AoE. Yeah, Conjurer's Calling is like a negative one, but all the other ones are kind of positive. Can also get box, I suppose. I'm already at 4 stars. I think the card is actually pretty solid. Because of the mage spells. Wow, and Mage getting a legendary spell here. 1 mana, fill your hand with random mage spells. At the end of the turn, discard them. Ooh, like a Solarium. But even going wider, huh? Imagine you are completely empty out of hand and then you get this card. What do you think, chat? What you think? Can be decent with Keltas as well, in a way. I think it's a good... It has to be a good card, because it's also only 1 mana cost, and it's not like even drawing, you just get random cards, so value-wise you don't really lose either. Like, I'm trying to find the way, what is the real downside of this card? And there is just not much. There might be the reason, yeah, well, overall it doesn't really help me much or something, or I'm just getting random stuff. It's a good card, guys. 4 stars. And here, the Dormant card for Mage. Imprisoner Observer. Dormant for 2 turns. When this awakens, deal 2 damage to all enemy minions. This kind of a good Dormant card in a way, because it has like, it's also a 3 mana one, so pretty cheap still. And you get like a pretty decent effect, but do you just want to have like a Yeti? A questionable Yeti that people like. Don't forget about around these cards, this one you can play around really well. You just, oh, I don't leave any minions up with 2 health, I trade them away or anything. Like, this card needs to work in Tempo Mage, otherwise you don't really want to play a card that gets a 3 mana 4/5 body. Nah, I rate it 2 stars. It's not a good card. That were the Mage ones. Next up, Paladin, and Paladin actually got a lot of cards already. I haven't seen these Paladin cards, guys, besides Lady Liadrin. Aldor Attendant, 2 mana 2/3, solid body, battle cry. Reduce the cost of your Librams by 1 this game. So not only reducing the cost of your Librams in hand, but in your deck. Well, kind of gonna depend how many Librams there are, right? Before we can review this card really well. I will come back to this card. Let's first take a little look, guys. Librams. So there are 3 Librams revealed. 2 cards revealed that reduce the cost. These 2 cards are very comparable. Reduce the cost of your Librams by 1 this game. Reduce the cost of Librams by 2 this game. And then let's take a little look at the Libram cards revealed so far. The first one. Libram of Wisdom. Give a minion +1/+1 and death rattle add a Libram of Wisdom spell to your hand. So you're bouncing the same spell to your hand. Well, it's basically kind of a value. I suppose that when you play this, reduce the cost of your Librams by 1 this game, this will always be 1 mana. So also the one that you get to your hand will also be 1 mana. If you play this game, you just have a 0 mana +1/+1 all game. Because it makes it like 2 cheaper. I mean, this card is so-so. +1/+1 is like just so-so. It's kind of a recycle card. You can keep using it. But it's nice for 2 mana, especially for Peli. Libram of Justice. Equip a 1/4 weapon. Change the health of all enemy minions to 1. Ooh. Equality with a weapon. But if you make this card cheaper, it's just an equality with a weapon and not more expensive. It's also only enemies, so it's not your own minions. I mean, it's kind of expensive for 6 mana this, chat. Like, you don't want to play this for 6 mana. This needs to be like 4 mana. Or 5 mana, maybe. This synergizes well with Wild Pyro, because it doesn't kill your own minions. And then we have here the other one, Libram of Hope. 9 mana, restore 8 health, summon an 8/8 Guardian with Taunt and Divine Shield. I mean, all these 3 cards, guys, they're not bad, but they are too balanced. They're too arena. Like, just compare this card to Hidden Oasis, and you're just laughing. I mean, this card is not bad, but Control Paladin is so far away from being viable. And a card like this is like, yeah, it's not bad, but it's not gonna help. Reduce and then it's up. It's not up. It's okay. This can be 3 mana. Yeah, it can be 3 mana if you play this card twice, and if you play this card twice. And then, finally, after playing these 4 cards, what are just decent stats, you get an 8/8 Taunt Divine Shield. It's just okay. It's not like I'm getting my Exodia combo going. No, you get an 8 mana 8/8 with Taunt and Divine Shield. Compare this a bit to Galakrond. Galakrond does very similar things. They play just cards that are like this. 2 mana 2/3. Boom. 5 mana 4/6, boom. And then, boom, Galakrond comes. And Paladin comes with like infinite +1/+1. Whatever kind of equality. And an 8/8 Taunt Divine Shield. It's not OP, guys. It's not. I want Paladin to be OP. I really miss Control Paladin. But these cards are not gonna make it OP. And there is like no win condition in this whole Paladin archetype. You just hope you don't die is the win condition of Paladin. Like it has no good draw. It has also big problem of Paladin is like good draw. They don't have a good enough draw that they have like an infinite hand like Mage has or Warlock has. No, bad. And then after a hero attacks, add a random Murloc to your hand. I mean, Priest only got 2 cards so far. I don't know. I really want Paladin. I hope we get more Librans, guys. We need some more Librans for Paladin to make it work. You didn't raid Lady Liadrin. Let's take a little look at Lady Liadrin. Add a copy of each spell you cast on friendly characters this game to your hand. I mean, this card is good for the value, guys, but it's kind of slow. Because it's adding the spells to your hand. It's not like test and all the spells are happening or anything. It adds spells to your hand. So it's like, it's very comparable, or it's like, it's kind of Krakwa, but then for the game. And the stats, like, I mean, I want this card to be good, guys, but it's just a 2-star card. You can't play cards like this much because it's adding value to your hand, but we need to be in like a really high value meta where cards like that gets played. Like, yeah. Dragon Maw Overseer. At the end of your turn, give another friendly minion +2/+2. Okay, so Priest is getting a complete rework. Rework. A lot of the Priest cards are disappearing. A lot of new cards are coming in Priest. Priest is getting some more minions spaced. Like, there's some more room for Tempo Priest now as well. At the end of your turn, give another friendly minion +2/+2. It's okay. It's not bad. But it's not good either. You play this and the next turn it dies. So it's kind of 3 mana +4, 3 mana 4/4. It's more like a Battlegrounds card. Maybe they printed this for Battlegrounds. 2 stars. Cedric Fearweaver. After you cast a spell on a minion, add a priest spell to your hand. Kind of good card. I compare this card a bit to Lady Liadrin. In a way. What was quite a good card. I think you have less miracle ways now. Also, priest is getting a lot of changes where you don't have these mechanics anymore. Also, when you cast a spell on an enemy minion, you still get a random spell. I will rate it 3 stars. It's just a solid card. We will have to see. Well, let's see what Shaman got here. Shaman got the Buck Spine Knuckles. 5 mana 4/2. After your hero, transform your minions into random ones that cost 1 more. So evolve Shaman style. What you can of course do is you can first... oh, we skipped Rogue. We will get to Rogue after Shaman. Can of course trade a bit first, then do this after your hero attacks, so it's after the hit. It's a bit expensive for an evolve mechanic. You kind of want evolve to be a cheap mechanic. Like playing 5 mana for evolving is kind of expensive. I mean, sure, you get a weapon so you can trade a bit better. I don't think this card is too good. 2 stars. Yeah, I don't think decks are gonna play this. I mean, I'm thinking of Desert Hair, but the problem was like, what was so OP was Desert Hair Evolve, but now you have to play Desert Hair and you're gonna be like, maybe he doesn't kill my Desert Hairs, maybe he doesn't know, but of course he knows. So, I don't know, it's your 1/1s are not gonna survive. It's a 2 star. I mean, you can play weapon first. Okay, that's a good point. You can play weapon first. And then you play Desert Hair. So it's kind of like a slower thing. Okay, 2.5 stars. And Boxstruck Clicker. 3 mana 3/3. Battlecry. Transform adjusted minions into random minions that cost 1 more. What is this for card, guys? I'm looking at his face. I'm like, damn, he is looking... I feel this card should be good. But it's kind of comparable to Master of Evolution. What was a 4 mana 4/5 Shaman card. Evolve a minion into a random one that costs 1 more. And that card never got like insanely much play, but I feel Shaman is more Battlecry oriented now. You can also, but like the nice thing is you can trade and evolve with a card like this. It should be a good card, I feel. 3.5 stars. Next up, Lady Vash. 3 mana 4/3. Spell damage +1. Death Rattle, Shuffle, Vash Prime in the deck. 7 mana 5/4. Draw 3 spells, reduce their cost by 3. Is there some Miracle Shaman you can do with this card? That's what you want, right? Some combo Shaman. Like Melee Shaman or something? I mean, this card is solid. Can get played in Shaman. 5 mana 4, 5, 4. This has to be a miracle card. I don't think you want to play it in anything else. Otherwise, a 3 mana 4/3 is just so-so. And 7 mana 5/4, draw 3. I will rate it 2 stars. I'm not a big believer of it at the moment. We need more better Shaman spells. 5 mana 4/6, Shadowed Rumbler. Pretty reasonable stat line with Battle Cry. If you cast a spell last turn, deal 2 damage to all minions. So, bit of a Dustbreaker effect, not really. If you cast a spell last turn, deal 2 damage to all minions. So, kind of like a Consecration setup by playing a spell. It's pretty solid, but your deck needs to be a bit more spell-oriented than normally to make this card not fall you too much behind. Hard to say this card. It's very oriented on deck building this way, because if you can justify it, also depends a bit on the meta. If it's like a more mid-rangey meta, this card can be really good. I think Shaman has some decent tools. I will rate it 3 stars. This card can be decent, doesn't need too much synergy. It's also very often around these cards you can play very well around, but like playing around your opponent playing a spell last turn is kind of hard. Every deck can play a spell. Every turn there is just a spell you can play that doesn't really show this card. Maybe the cost is just a bit too expensive. Maybe if this card was 4 mana, it was amazing, but 5 mana just not making the cut. It's a better animation. Yeah, it's a better animation, but that doesn't necessarily say too much. Okay, the Lurker below. The new Shaman Legendary. 6 mana, 6/3. Deal 3 damage to an enemy minion. If it dies, repeat it at one of its neighbors. You can also play around this card some, actually, by just splitting the 3 away. I don't think this card is that amazing, but it's not bad either. Do you get to choose the target? Yes, this card chooses. It's like Fire Elemental and then it can keep going. It's like kind of better Fire Elemental, but Fire Elemental is not a card that really gets play or is any consideration in Standard. It's kind of weak body as well, like 6 mana 6/3. Like, if this was a 6 mana 6/6 or something, you could consider it, but I don't like the stat line much. This guy is just missing its own body also. Like, it's not likely this card is going to be full clearing the board. Again, sometimes it will, but it's not going to be like your game winner then. It's not like a Godfrey that will clear the board almost every time. I rated 2 stars. Ooh, what is this? Torrent. 5 mana, deal 8 damage to a minion, cost 3 less if you cast a spell last turn. 2 mana, deal 8. Not bad. 2 mana, deal 8. Flame Lens, but I mean, then for 2 mana. I mean, this card is good, but is Shaman gonna be good? This card is good, but yeah. Like, Shaman doesn't really need this card. Like, you also have Hex. 3 star. It's a good card, but Shaman needs more direction, guys. Otherwise, Shaman is gonna be Paladin. Okay, I forgot Rogue. Ooh, and here we go. Rogue doesn't have too much yet. Let's first look at the new legendary, Akama. Akama, shuffle Akama Prime into your deck. Akama Prime, 6 mana, 6/5, permanently stealthed. Stealthed for the rest of the game. Ooh, permanently stealthed. I mean, that's kind of good, right, in Rogue? Having a card that's permanently stealthed. What I suppose is whenever you attack, it can just keep attacking. Trash? This card is not trash, guys. This card can be really OP in Rogue. Because having a stealth minion for the whole game, just keep hitting 6 in the face, just not caring, just going sap, going flick, going removals on the minions, and just like keep hitting 6 in the face. I read this card 4 stars. I think this card is really good in Rogue. Not even counting in like cards you can buff this with or anything, but just in general the card is like good. I feel these cards that shuffle another like buffed card of themselves in the deck are really good in the Highlander decks. You definitely play them in Highlander. And also, first guys, I actually want to talk about this card. Also, by the way, this card got revealed by a very amazing streamer. If you want to check him out, type reveal in the chat with the exclamation mark. And you can see an awesome reveal on this card as well. Shadow Jeweler Hanar. 2 mana 1/5. After you play a secret, discover a secret from another class. So, Rogue is gonna get some secrets in this expansion. We have only seen one so far, but they will get more. And then we have the Shadow Jeweler Hanar, what kind of wants to push more of a tempo-based one. It's a pretty good stat line. 2 mana 1/5 is a good stat line. And if you play a Rogue secret for 2 mana, you discover a secret from another class, you discover a Paladin secret, you play that one for 1 mana, you discover a secret from a different class, what will then be either Rogue, Hunter, or Mage. That is how the mechanic will work. It can be very nice and powerful. It can also be like something that can kind of put an infinite secret train going. I think this card is... can be like really, really good, and you don't have to play your deck too much around it. You just play like some Rogue secrets, and from there on you can just keep going a bit. We don't know much about the Rogue secret, so the first Rogue secret we have been seeing is the Ambush. Secret: after your opponent plays a minion, summon a 2/3 Ambusher with Poisonous. Well, it's very good for 2 mana. Because for 2 mana, getting a 2/3 Poisonous Ambusher after your opponent plays a minion, I mean, people will play minions. It's hard to not play a minion. It's already hard to play around not playing a spell or anything, but a minion is very, very good. Especially for 2 mana. Like, this is a very proactive secret. It's not a reactive one. It's very proactive for 2 mana. It's like a Cobra, but then instead of hitting a minion on the board, you are not able to play a minion, what is way, way harder. So very good card, this secret. Then Rogue is also getting Blackjack Stunner, 1 mana 1/2. If you control the secret, return a minion to its owner hand, it costs 2 more. So you get a sap effect on a card and make the card even more expensive. Like, this card is also really busted, guys. Imagine to be able to sap for 1 mana and make the card kind of unplayable. Because that's what it's doing. Making a card 2 more expensive is really for 1 mana. 1 mana, make a card 2 more mana expensive. Like, okay. It's like a proactive freezing trap. Whenever you want to play it, you play it. So I'm just really feeling all these 3 cards. Like, this is a 4-star card for me, this is a 4-star card for me, and this is a 4-star card for me. So I'm definitely feeling this Rogue hype train. So Rogue will get 2 more secrets. From what Blizzard said is there will be 3 Rogue secrets. We have seen 1 so far. There will be 2 more. But yeah, this card is definitely really good. Like, wow. Blackrock Stunner is like, wow. 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 But yeah, make sure, guys, to check out that amazing YouTube video as well on this card. But yeah, we need to see more of Rogue, but definitely looking very strong so far for me. Maybe Rogue will be good, chat. Who knows? Warlock. Okay, that's very little. Imprisoned Scamp Imp. Dormant for 2 turns. 2 mana, 3/3. When this awakens, give all minions in your hand +2/2. Little imp, huh? What do we think of this imp? It's kind of like a deck you want, a card you want to more play in Zoo. I mean, it's not bad. This is the card that makes Hyreek playable, chat. Kappa. It's not insanely slow for 2 mana. But when Zoo falls behind, Zoo loses. So, can you play a 2 mana pass to make it active 2 turns after? What does dormant mean? So when you play it, it will not be active, and 2 turns after it will be active. So if you play this on turn 2, the effect will go off on turn 4, and then the body will arise. But normally Zoo is out of minions on turn 4. I will rate it like 3 stars. 2.5 stars. I feel I'm still nice. And here, Shadow Conceal. Replace your hand with random demons. Give them +2/+2. Replace your hand with random demons. Do you know how many terrible demons there are? I mean, now there are also some good demons, right? Because you can get the Demon Hunter cards or not. I suppose so. I mean, this is a good meme card. It's a good card for streamers. 17 health your access? Okay, maybe that will work actually. Yeah, I have no idea, guys, about this one. I feel it's a meme card. It's a fun card. What if this card is just gonna be up, guys? That will be funny. Just playing random demon lock. I'll rate it 3 stars. I don't know about this one. Box nerf? That's actually a little bit of a box nerf indeed. The Dark Portal, 4 mana, draw minion. If you have at least 8 cards in hand, it costs 5 less. Ooh, Headlock is like, ho, ho, ho. But no more Mountain Giant. Mountain Giant going away. I mean, you need to get the effect going. Otherwise, this card is really bad. 4 mana draw minion, guys, is a disaster. Especially in Warlock that can just tap. So 4 mana draw minion is a complete disaster. You need to get the effect going. Of like it costing 5 less. I don't like this card much. 2 stars. It's not a good card. You can't really get this going, guys. I mean, we need to see more with Warlock. You can't give Warlock any much of a few yet with just these 3 cards. This card is kind of bad. This card is, I don't know, kind of memey, but maybe it can work. This card, we need to see as well. Let's see what Warrior got here. And Warrior got the Bulwark of Azanov. Whenever your hero will take damage, this loses 1 durability instead. It's kind of an ice block for Control Warrior. You play the shield and you are shielding yourself up. Your hero can't take damage. So obviously it's kind of weak towards, like, let's say ping or hero power or anything. But still, like, there need to be 4 attacks you're blocking. I mean, there are some weaknesses of this card, of course, where if there is like some random 1 damage cards like Arcane Missiles, that can be really good, but there are not that many cards of these, or Knife Juggler. Of course, you always have like Ooze that will be like popular thing when cards like this arise. But still can be just sometimes an annoying card. I don't think it's that OP, but it's in some way a bit of an ice block. Like, it can be good in a late game situation to defend yourself. It probably is more of a tech card, or also has these matchups where it's really good. And I mean, it's kind of, it has like the weaknesses of like, yeah, Mage, Hero Power, Rogue Dagger, all these things. But still can be like really annoying sometimes. It's kind of a, it's a very fitting Warrior card. I will rate it 4 stars. I think it's a good card. Next up, we have here Kargat. 4 mana 4/4. Shuffle Kargat Prime in your deck. Kargat Prime, 8 mana 10/10. Rush. Whenever this attacks and kills a minion, gain 10 armor. 10 armor. 10. 4 mana 4/4 Rush is good, and Rush and summoning a card in your deck is good. With it is pretty good, and then 8 mana 10/10 Rush. I mean, this card is pretty good, guys. Both cards, both ways are good. Like 4 mana 4/4 Rush is good. I don't like when cards are like 4 mana 4/2 Rush or anything, but when it is 4 health, it's also good. It often survives. So 4 mana 4/4 Rush with an upside of a Death Rattle, and then this. I like this card. This card is definitely 4 stars. And I'm like, I think it might be even more. This card can be even possibly 5 stars. I will rate it 4.5 stars. This card is good. And then we have here the Warlord Challenger. 3 mana 1/10. Choose an enemy minion. Battle it to the death. Whoa. But I suppose you can also just play this on an empty board, right? And then it's just a 3 mana 1/10 as well. Play this against Doomsayer. Ka-ching! 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 1 hour later. This is a good card, guys. Choose an enemy minion. Can also ignore taunt. I mean, it's so, right? It's decent. I mean, if you play like a 3/2, you just kill it, and you're... it's good in like an aggro meta, I will say, because then this card is good. Let's say you challenge a 3/2 on turn. He plays a 3/2, you coin this, and then you kill it, and you're left with a 1/4 on the board after killing a minion. Well, it's just decent against aggro. I will rate it 3 stars. It's just decent. But it depends a bit on meta. It's a bit of a meta depending card. It's good against aggro. Against like control, it's like you definitely don't want this in your deck. Alright, we can take a little bit of a look on the neutral cards, guys, as well. Oh, are these the only neutral cards that have been revealed? Really? Then we're gonna do all the neutrals. I was like, there's probably a lot of dust in this, but there have actually only been 8 revealed, guys. Okay. They haven't revealed the dust stuff yet. Nice. Then we can do a good one. Alar! 5 mana, 7/3. Death Rattle. Summon a 0/3 Ashes of Alar that resurrects this minion on your next turn. I mean, 5 mana, 7/3 Death Rattle, guys, is incredibly slow. Incredible. It's also only Death Rattle. I mean, you just play a one mana spell against this and it's gone. Okay, this is 1 star. Chat, try to not open this one as your legendary. Sorry if this is the legendary you're gonna open. This is dust. Don't open it, chat, okay? Sorry if you open the Alar. Imprisoned, Filfint. 2 mana, 3/5. Dormant for 2 turns, rush. Neutral dormant card. 2 mana, 3/5, rush. That's not bad. The rush makes it decent. Like, in some decks, you don't really care about not having a 2-drop, and then you just play this, maybe. Like, let's say you play this in Mage. That doesn't really do anything on 2 anyway. And then you get this out on 4, what might be even better. This guy's pretty decent. These cards can be really annoying for aggro decks. If they get played in mid-range control decks. These cards are all depending a bit. I will rate this one 3 stars. This one is decent. It's very cheap, guys. 2 mana is cheap. If this will be 3 mana, I will be like, but 2 mana is really cheap for this. A lot of decks don't really do sometimes much for 2 mana. But it depends on meta. You need a meta where this is like working well. Kel'Thas. Well, we are already playing with Kel'Thas. And I think Kel'Thas is a legendary with an insane potential. We already have seen, like, yeah, you have maybe seen the wild stuff where he's like incredible. But I've seen, like, what we have seen in Hunter specifically, he's really good. He's very solid in Druid. It's just sometimes in these decks, he's like decent, but sometimes he just goes off insane. Where you have like this combo on turn 7 where you just play 2 cheap spells with Kel'Thas and you get like a 10 mana spell going. I definitely think Kel'Thas is a very good card. And it only will get better over time where there's more stuff for him to combo with. And mana cheating, guys, is always a thing that can go like insane. I will rate Kel'Thas 5 stars. I just think Kel'Thas is actually going to be like really, really good. And I really believe in a Kel'Thas Hunter deck. I think that will be like really strong. Alright, what are we thinking of this card? I want to talk about this card quite a bit. Mecteridon. 4 mana, 12/12. Yes. Dormant Battlecry. Summon 3/1/3 enemy warders. When they die, destroy all minions and awaken. So, we're getting here a 4 mana 12/12 that summons 3/1/3 for the enemies. So 3/1/3s for the enemies. When these 1/3s are dying, it awakens, and then a deafening effect happens. Everything is getting destroyed. And a 12/12 will come on the board. And there is some counterplay towards this card, because you can of course kill one of the 1/3s yourself. You're like, you can, I don't know, you can hex your 1/3, you can polymorph your 1/3. The card is not playable, of course, when there's 5 minions on the board, because then you only give your opponent 2 1/3s, and he doesn't go off. But compared, or like Shadow Step one of your 1/3s, I guess. But there's also some direct play of this card, where you can play this on turn 4, and you play it with a Hellfire. And you just kill it directly, you completely destroy the board. Yeah, actually one of the biggest counterplays towards this card is when when your opponent faces Corruptor as a 1/3, right? Because they transform it. But there's also some weapon, like Demon Hunter had a good weapon that's called just kill all the 1/3s directly. Maybe you can set up good things to make sure, like what you want with this card is, you want to directly kill the 1/3s off. All of them. But if you get this off, guys, it's a game-winning card. So I think this card is very good. I will rate it 4.5 stars. I'm a believer, guys. I believe in this card. Really good in control decks. Really good. Play this in Mage. Play this in Warlock. That is the decks where you want to play it in. Next, Maiev Shadow Song. Another card, guys. Very interesting. So, 4 mana, 4/3. Battle Cry, choose a minion, it goes dormant for 2 turns. So, this card, don't look too much as like using this card on your own minion. Look at this card as a removal. You can play this card on an enemy minion, very comparable to Spellbreaker as well, and you just destroy, or you destroy it for 2 turns. So a very like big tempo swing. Play like your opponent plays Edwin, and you can just play this card, and it just goes dormant for 2 turns. Like, it doesn't matter what your opponent does, you can just do it. This card is so strong, I feel, guys. Like, it's not as OP in Mage and Shaman that have cards like Hex and Polymorph, because that might still be better, but play this in a tempo card. Like, I feel this should be a rogue card. I don't feel this should be a card that is playable in every class. Like, this card is really good in classes that don't have good removal. Like, this card is really busted in Druid, or this, or also against Druid, actually. Because you can also choose these untargetable minions from it. I mean, it's actually good in every class, kinda. This card is really good against Taunt. Play this against Karga Defender. Boom, Karga Defender gone. Probably really good in Hunter as well. You definitely want this in Highlander Hunter. Boom, ignore Taunt. Boom. I feel this card is really good in tempo decks. In like mid-range decks mainly. Dormant means like it will be kind of inactive for 2 turns. But very important, when it comes back from the dormant set, it will come back with the same stats. So let's say you use this on an Edwin that is a 10/10. You make it dormant. It doesn't come back as a 2/2. No, it will come back as a 10/10 the 2 turns later. I think this card is really good. I will rate it 5 stars, guys. I think this card is really good. Mogar. You will see that the card so much play, guys. This card is like the dream of competitive players. Cards like that. It's so strong. It's gonna be a Zilliax. Like, this card you will play as a Zilliax. You're just gonna put it in your deck. It's so good. 4 mana. I will even play this for 6 mana maybe. 5 mana for sure. 6 mana I'm not sure. Mogar Archfizer. All minions take double damage from spells. This plus Fireball. Oh, all minions. Yeah. Minions. Minions are not face. It's so-so. You want to play this with AoE cards to make them stronger. I don't know. Arcane Missiles for 2. Consecration for 4. Swipe for like double damage. Like, these are the things you want to do it with. With the, like... Look at this card with, like, the 3 4-mana AoEs. But, I mean, the stat line is good, right? 2 mana, 2/4 is a good stat line. Let's not forget that. And then just combine it with Swipe, Consecration. Like, the card might not see that amazing on the first view, but there's also no real downside on this card. So, I would rate it a 3-star card. This with Backstep as well. Like, oh, like play this with that Backstep, and you like things like that is pretty good. Replicatron, 4 mana 3/3. At the end of the turn, transform a neighbor into a copy of this. I think more often that is a negative effect than a positive effect, but I guess in aggro decks and token decks there is like, ooh, I make someone a 3/3. But then you still have to play a 4 mana 3/3. Well, it's kind of like super slow. I don't see upside on this card much. I mainly see downside. The upside is when you magnetic and you make this guy super big, you transform it into another big thing, right? So you make this guy really big. Let's say you play a Blessing of Kings on it, and then the copy is also a 7/7. Ooh, is this the card that hand buff needs? This is actually a really good hand buff card. Yeah, no more magnetic, but maybe hand buffing. And it's a counter, guys, to the 4 mana 12/12, because you can transform a 1/3 into this guy. This card is more solid now I think about it more, but not sure. 3 stars. Teron Gorefriend, 3 mana 3/4, destroy all friendly minions, resummon them with +1/+1. Wait, that is really good, right? The first three, my first thought is this really good because you destroy so they get the full stats back. And the second thought is if you play this on Death Rattle cards, it's even more OP. But the card needs to die. The card needs to die. Doomsayer counter. Actually a Doomsayer counter, yeah. I'm pretty sure there are really good things with this card, chat. It's also 3 mana 3/4. Really good in Reborn deck, I think, because you still get the Reborns off and then you resummon the Reborns. That's actually really good, right? I think you want to play this in Reborn Pally. Yeah, I like this card. There's just so much potential for this card, and it's just a 3 mana 3/4. Played with Egg, indeed. That's probably like the most dreamy things, these cards. 5 stars. Good card, chat. Yeah, so the best cards are the neutral cards, in my opinion, so far. There's some really good neutral cards. Keltas, this one, this one, this one, not this one. I like it. So, we'll keep doing a little bit of a review, guys. Actually, tomorrow, big reveal stream. Actually, all the cards, I think, are going to be revealed tomorrow. So, we will see everything. That has been going really fast. In 1 week, we have just getting every card, huh? Damn. I'm excited. I am excited, chat. I am excited. Are you excited? It's gonna be fun. Gonna keep being a little bit of a review going, guys. So also in the next streams and every time there will be a new card coming out, we're gonna keep going a bit with a review. Also should maybe take a little look at the Demon Hunter and the Priest cards in general, because we haven't really seen much of these right as well. Because now there will also be all these Demon Card Hunter, or we haven't, like there will be the classic set of Demon Hunter. Man, this card, guys. All friendly attacks ignore taunt. This card. Ignore taunt. I like this card. When is a Demon Hunter coming out? I really want to play Demon Hunter.